The Misfits, one of the most iconic bands of all time and one of the most influential punk bands ever, has an iceberg chart. For those who don't know, everything on the top of the chart, everyone knows. Everything on the bottom, few people know. The literal top of the chart is every famous song of the Misfits. You've probably heard them somewhere before. The side photo here is one of the most famous photos of the Misfits, showing a very oddly skinny Danzig in his anime shirt, an oddly skinny Doyal, and on drums is Robo, one of the many revolving door drummers of the Misfits. Originally a Black Flag's drummer, then turned to a Misfits drummer, where he actually stayed with Danzig for a while. He then returned during the Jerry era. Layer 2. The Fiend Club is the official Misfits fan club. Plan 9 Records, named after Plan 9 from Outer Space, is the former independent record-producing company owned by Glenn Danzig. Metallica's Last Caress is Metallica's cover of Last Caress, which was also paired with Green Hell. They also covered Die Die My Darling, the most famous Misfits song. It immediately sparked up debate that who owned the Misfits, Jerry only or Glenn Danzig. Brain Eaters is a song, the Misfits' first music video, as well as a spin-off band. Samhain is an awesome band formed by Glenn Danzig after he left the Misfits. They're brutal and pagan and awesome, and their best song is Archangel, which is the best thing Glenn Danzig ever wrote. Eventually, Rick Rubin came into the scene and basically fired everyone but Danzig and Eerie Von, and then reworked it into the band Danzig, which is good but not Samhain good. But they did make Mother, which is the only song of the Misfits' entire catalog that aired on MTV and became this huge hit. Mainstream. The Undead is Bobby Steele's band after he left the Misfits. Bobby Steele is the second guitarist of the Misfits. The Undead is kind of like the Megadeth to the Misfits Metallica, if you know what I mean. London Dungeon is about that time Bobby Steele and Glenn Danzig were tossed into Bridges jail after a bar fight because they were in London because they were told that they could open for the Damned. This was just a joke and they didn't expect the Misfits to show up, so they kind of awkwardly were stuck in London for a week, where Jerry only spent over $1 million of his dad's money. Devil Lock is a song in the iconic hairstyle of the Misfits. It's one really long bang in front of your eyes, kind of like an Ultra Widow's Peak. Original logo, aka logo's origin. The iconic skull logo of the Misfits is actually stolen from a 1940-something movie called The Crimson Ghoul, which is why the logo is sometimes called that. It's kind of public domain. And I guess when I'm at it, the Samhain/Danzig skull is also stolen from a Marvel comic. Lodi is a place in New Jersey where the Misfits formed. Henry and Glenn refers to Henry Rollins of Black Flags and Glenn Danzig are best friends. The side photo is yet another very iconic photo of the Misfits, with Doyal, Glenn Danzig, Arthur Gooby, and Jerry only. Next tier. 12 Hits from Hell is a unreleased, later then unofficially released best of album with overdubs by Doyal. Christ the Conqueror was a very silly band. It was basically a temp band formed by Doyal and Jerry as a alternative if they couldn't get the rights to the Misfits back. It's kind of like the complete opposite of Samhain, where Samhain was brutal and pagan and awesome. Christ the Conqueror was a metal Christian band and terrible. They also never performed. Even their best song, Spellbound, was just later reworked into a much better song, Descending Angels, when they did get the rights back. But if you want something more weird, I would probably add an entry about John Cafaro, who was the director of many Misfits music videos and later a producer of the band. He also made Insane Clown Posse's Big Money Hustlers, which the Misfits made a cameo in. He wrote and produced the solo album with the Misfits, I Want to Be a New York Ranger, and then formed the band Osaka Popstar, which is basically what every 14-year-old boy thinks about. The Misfits, the Ramones, Black Flags, Weird Al, Garbage Pail Kids, anime, and Captain Crunch for some reason. Blank Records was the original name for Plan 9 Records, It was sold to Mercury Records so they could record Static Age, their first album. The Misfits recorded Static Age in 1978. The album did not release until 1996 because independently releasing anything before the internet and YouTube was a joke. Ratfink is a song and a Hot Rod character you probably seen before. Rise Above is a Black Flag song that the Misfits covered a lot. Haunted House insert refers to an insert added to some horror business albums to explain poor quality. Mephisto Waltz is a song by the Misfits, but it only has Danzig and Eerie Von on it, so many say it's actually a Samhain song. Jerry and Sid. Jerry Only was present when Sid Vicious died. Jerry Only was also friends with Sid Vicious's mom. Spook City USA is a song and the B-side to Who Killed Marilyn, Glenn Danzig's solo album, not to be confused with the band of his same name. Chiller Theater refers to that time Jerry and Doyal tried to revive Chiller Theater, which was this kind of host of a horror show thing. Vampiro WCW is a wrestler. Despite what he looks like, he very briefly only hanged out with the Misfits. He also hanged out with the Insane Clown Posse, which is a weird connection. Jerry actually really liked WCW and wanted to switch places with Vampiro until he realized that WCW had no good health insurance. The side photo, yet another very iconic Misfits photo with Danzig in his skeleton shirt, as well as Bobby Steele and Joey Image, who looks like Ben Stiller. I'd also probably add an entry talking about the extended Misfits family tree. This chart only shows different people from the bands forming their own bands and connecting back to the Misfits, which is still absolutely wild. Next level. Murdergram is a made-up word that combines murder and telegram. Genia Death refers to Glenn Danzig accidentally sending the long lyrics to Metallica for Green Hell. Earth AD Wolfblood German pressing refers to the alternate title and cover of the German release of Earth AD. Studio Zero shows the first ever footage of the Misfits. Brain Damage is really hot. He is the last official drummer of the original Danzig era Misfits who performed only at the Halloween 83 disastrous showing. We got too drunk and Doyle literally tossed him out. Bobby Steele and the Undead suck. Glenn Danzig literally sang this during a live performance of Teenagers from Mars because him and Bobby Steele grew apart. Joey Pills is Joey Image's original name before everyone felt that was literally stupid. Evil Eye 3-pack is a very exclusive 3-pack of Evil Eye. Only 33 of these exist with original covers. Todd Swallow was a drummer for the Necros, which was basically the backup drummer for the Misfits, and played during the 83 Halloween disaster. Can't Tell No One is a Negative Approach song that the Misfits covered again at the Halloween disaster, where Danzig literally rage quit the band. Pushhead Interview is an interview with Glenn Danzig that's 3 hours long and also a primary source for all early Danzig and Misfits info. The side photo shows Jerry in green pants. I would probably add an entry about the fact that Jerry Only and Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein are actually brothers. As well as the cheeseburger fight, Arthur Googie left the band because he wanted 2 cheeseburgers after a show, but Danzig only wanted to pay for 1. Next level. Blue Christmas is a Elvis song. Of course, Glenn Danzig, being known as Evil Elvis, covered it once at Max's Kansas City before Bobby Steele got them banned from the place because he kept throwing bottles at people. A studio version has been released since. Black Horror Business refers to that time they printed very poor quality Horror Business albums for their London tour with The Damned, which didn't work out. I Got It Right is a song by Iggy Pop and the Stooges that the Misfits covered. It was eventually released on Cuts from the Crypt. It was also used on a Iggy Pop tribute album. Mike Hideous is the dude in the side photo. He's really short but had the longest devil lock of any member of the Misfits. He only played 2 tours and was kicked out for creative differences. He was only brought onto the band because Michael Graves took the summer to play hockey. Seriously. Honestly, given how terrible personally Michael Graves is, I kind of wish they did have a Hideous era. Creepshow refers to a bootleg of the Misfits live show. It's honestly like really good. The Pit Demo 81 is a demo of Arthur Gooby playing Earth AD songs. Kudat and Bujang is Danzig's before Misfits band. Diane D. Piazza. Diane Pizza is a girl who supposedly existed that is often used to disinherit Jerry from his co-creator of the Misfits title. Despite this, she never played anything or recorded anything with the Misfits, and she might as well just be a ghost, especially given that no one knows what she looks like. Teenagers from Mars photo book is a photo book of Teenagers from Mars, which is very rare. Astro Zombie's live ending refers to the fact that Glenn Danzig said a bunch of scat nonsense after performing the song that people are trying to figure out what it actually was. I'd probably add an entry about that one time Jerry performed We Are 138 after everyone left the band. It may be something about that time Glenn Danzig wrote for Johnny Cash, and that time Glenn Danzig wrote and made it to number 1 on the Classicals number 1 charts. Next level. Most of these are pre-Static Age songs. Feline Nursery is literally just spinal remains that the lyrics were changed the day of recording. Misfits 88 is the side photo, which is Christ the Conqueror cosplaying as the Misfits at a convention. Whole Lot of Living to Do is yet another Elvis song that was covered by Glenn Danzig, yet there is no studio recording or even a bootleg of it. Archangel 1981 was meant to be a Misfits cover of the Samhain song for the Damned lead singer to sing. It has never been released. Xmas at Max's is a cancelled live album, Christmas album. Teenagers from Mars 7-inch, only 5 of these exist. I would probably add an entry about that time the Misfits went to go grave rob in Louisiana for Marie Laveau, a voodoo practitioner, and then spent a night in jail. Doyal has confirmed this on Loudwire. Bottom of the iceberg. Halloween 3. Halloween 3 refers to the disputed existence of a third part to the Halloween 1 and 2 Misfits songs. Steve Singh, the drummer of Samhain, claims that it does exist, but he might be confusing it for Samhain's Halloween 2, which is possibly not Halloween 3. Psycho Mysteria is literally just horror business bootleg. Cough Cool Lost Songs refer to a lost song. Static Age mixed down tapes are lost. Who Killed Marilyn Ace tape is lost. And Teenagers from Mars 2X Ace tape is this really mysterious and kind of weird Ace tape that only Danzig owns. It has 2 holes in it and it's double-sided for some reason. It's really weird. And finally, the side photo is just Glenn Danzig's high school photo with a green filter. That is his real last name, and I'm jealous of his hair. And that was the Misfits Iceberg. What do you guys think? Do you learn anything new? Do you think there should be more added to this? Let me know in the comments below.